This here is a clear example of what we are going to be going over today. I'm Brent and welcome back to another episode on how you can create a minigame using the creative tools in Geometry Dash. In this tutorial, we are going to be creating this 4-way directional movement concept shown here, but before we begin, if you did not see the episode before this, I highly recommend that you watch it as it covers the introduction of the functions we are going to be using for this episode. The video will show up right now. If you have not already subscribed, I upload tons of different videos like games, music, vlogs, and much more. Best of all, it's free, so hit that bell for notifications so that you get notified whenever a new Geometry Dash tutorial comes up or when I live stream other fun things. And on that note, let's get right into the tutorial. So to set up the game before we actually set up the touch functions, we gotta go ahead and go to the level settings. Gotta go to 2-player mode and duo, and change it to the ship mode. And you might need to change the background as well so that it's cleaner rather than having the default colors. Also, it's recommended that you don't ever change the color number 1, as most of the default colors when you have like decorations, they will have them set as color 1 by default. So don't ever change color 1, just keep it as white. Also, feel free to change the song as you'd like, it really doesn't matter. You could also optionally change the font if you really like to just make it more original. I personally like to choose the 5 font because I like to make 8-bit games. So after you got that all set up, go ahead and place a touch trigger at the beginning of the level and go ahead and change the group ID to 1, toggle it on. And basically that's all you have to do for the first toggle. Now we're going to also place a spawn trigger and edit the group as 1 so that the touch trigger will trigger this spawn trigger. And like I said in the introduction video, it basically acts as a redstone repeater. So go ahead and set the delay to 0.02 seconds. It can be 0.05. It really doesn't matter, but I like to keep it as clean as possible with not a lot of delay when you're tapping on it. There's going to be a reason why there's a spawn group in a minute, but just right now, go ahead and set the group ID to number 2, have spawn and multi. And what basically spawn and multi does is basically it won't activate unless touch trigger is true. And it won't activate just because the player, the Geometry Dash player, doesn't go across the spawn trigger. So just have it as spawn and multi. Now, lastly, you're pretty much done with the touch function, and what you had to do to prove that this is done, go ahead and have the group ID to 2, add an object, spawn, multi, have it as BG, and how you do that is you go click on this plus sign and click on BG, and you can have the fade out time to 50%, and let's just say I want it as red. When I play the level, it's gonna turn red every time I tap on this group. So once you've gotten that, go ahead and place another touch trigger with a group ID of 3, toggle it on, and dual mode this time. So, Luna, I don't need you. Go ahead and place a stop this time. Have the group ID as 3 so that the touch trigger will activate the stop, and have the group ID for the stop trigger at 4, spawn and multi. So go ahead and also go back to the spawn 2 and edit the group to also add 4. And to prove that this also works, go ahead and duplicate the bottom pulse and change that number to 3. And change the color to blue as well, so that you know that there's a difference. So if I tap on the left side, it's red, but if I tap on the right side, it's blue. So you have completed the touch triggers of this tutorial. So once you've gotten that, you're gonna go we're gonna go modify with the spawn. So to change directions, we're going to have the right side. Whenever the player taps the right side, it will change directions. And to do that, we're going to be dealing with 3, since every time we tap on the right side, it turns blue, as you can see here. So to implement that into the game, we're going to have 4, since there are 4-way movements, 4 ways to move. And we're going to have the group ID set to 3, and have the target ID to the next available group, which is 5. So change the spawn group to 5 and the delay to 0.02, spawn multi. And duplicate that so that you have them go up chronologically until you reach 8, since there's 4. After you have gotten that done, go ahead and place your toggle mode, have it spawn, multi, activate, and have this group number as 6. Go ahead and also copy and paste, have this as 7, 8, and for the last one, go ahead and change it to 5 so that we can have it loop back from 8 to 5. And what it's basically doing is having 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that loops back just like in a 4-directional movement concept. So also have one more toggle. We're going to have this spawn, multi, deactivate, and have the group ID as 5. Go up chronologically, so 5 through 8. Now for the IDs for all of them, go ahead and have the group IDs as 5 for the top one, 6 for the second one, 7 for the third one, and 8 for the last one. Go ahead and also copy these, remove all the groups, edit object, remove the spawn, and drag it back. And what should happen is that when you stop the game, it's basically disappear. And basically, if it's disappeared, it can't be activated until you tap on something, just like on what I said in the last video. So, what this basically does is if I tap right, it's going to change down. It's going to go down 1. And that's basically what it's supposed to do. Now, also, we're going to be adding the move triggers to this. And we're going to deal with those later. Just right now, we're going to create the player. So, go ahead and place a block. And go ahead and also place the trigger box for this. It's located in the background section, and it's this block right here. And we're going to deal with this later, but right now, set it to 1 and dynamic block. So go ahead and add that to the block. And also, go ahead and add arrows to its sides, and you can do that by finding it in the decoration section. You can find the arrows, which are right here. But right now, go ahead and select all of that, have it edit group as 9, and so if it's 9, go ahead and change the move triggers, target group ID to 9, and have this move time to 20, and spawn and multi. Now if we want our player to move right first, go ahead and place the first move trigger and have the X as 1000, since we have our move time as 20, and we're going to move it down next, so negative 1000 for the Y. We're going to move it left, so negative 1000, and move it up, so 1000. And now we basically have these trigger boxes, so also add the group 5 for the top layer, 6, 7, and 8. And to make it move, we're going to have it tap left. So that would be the red side, since every time we tap on the left side, it turns red. And so to do that, you gotta have the group numbers of all of these to 2. We don't want it as 1 because actually 3 cancels out 1. That's why we had to stop earlier. Let's have the right arrow as 5, the down arrow as 6, left arrow as 7, and right arrow is 8. And so now you got it visually. But now you can't even stop it. And to do that, you gotta add something else. So go ahead and go to the touch area, have it to the next available group ID, which is 10. So add it as 10. Toggle it off this time, and hold mode. Do not set this as dual mode, since we have it going on the left side. So place down a stop trigger. After that, have the group ID as 10 for the stop trigger, and the group ID to activate is 11, spawn, multi. And then we're going to go back into the 4-directional movement, go to these 4 9s, edit the group, and set it as 11, so that it will stop it every time we have it. And you should get something like this. So congratulations, you created your directional movement. Now we're going to be making hitboxes so that if you go hit a wall, you will stop. So, before we get started, go ahead and add another one of those trigger boxes. Have it as 2, non-dynamic this time. Now for this, we're going to add a collision trigger. Have the block A ID as 1, and the block B ID as 2. And you can have the target ID as the next free group ID, which is 12. So change that to 12, activate, and go ahead and drag that up to here. Now we also want to have a stop trigger so that when it touches the 2 block, it's going to stop the player from moving. And to do that, all you have to do is go ahead and place another stop trigger, have the group ID as 12 so that the collision will activate the stop trigger, and group ID as 13 as the next free. So spawn, multi, and you're going to go to the 4 directional movement and have that as 13 as well. I don't know why I changed it to 1, but go ahead and go to the stop trigger and change that to 13. You gotta have another 4 triggers. We're gonna have only just 1 for now so that it's easier for us to work with. Have spawn, multi, have the move time as 0, target a group ID as 9, and since we're moving right, first we go -1 because we want it to go left. Since we're going down next, we change it to 1 because we're going up again. Duplicate that. We're going left, so we turn right. And lastly, we go up, so we go down. Okay, so now after you have all 4 of these move triggers down, you gotta have the edit group ID for the first one to be 5, second one to be 6, third one to be 7, and fourth one to be 8. So I forgot. So go ahead and go back into these 4 triggers and add 12 so that it will activate once the collision is there. And that should be able to move. Okay, see? So apparently I just realized that there is an editing bug. I don't exactly know how RobTop can fix this. But specifically for this bug, what it does is basically when you play this and you tap on the right side of the screen, it'll basically move as well. And to fix that, you gotta go ahead and go to this 4 objects, or 6, sorry, I can't count. Then you go ahead and drag that down here. And make sure you save and exit so that it's fixed. And basically it'll fix it for you. Now, when you actually play the game, you're going to see that the trigger boxes is actually visible. Go to the alpha, tap on that, and change the group ID to 14, or at least the next available group ID. Have it to 14, fade time is 0, opacity is 0, and you don't have to have this as spawn triggered. So you're going to have to set that right here. And also change these 2 boxes to the group number of 14. Now to make it actually visible, you gotta go ahead and also place an object there so that you know that that's a wall. So now you're pretty much done with 4-way directional movement. Now all you have to do is have the object follow. So to do that, you gotta have all of these set to 1 group number. In this case it would be 15. Have the move section, target move 15. Lock to player X, and set the move time to basically infinity. And basically it's just going to follow the player. If you want to play for longer, you gotta have to go ahead and place a spike. And it doesn't have to be a spike, it can be any block. Literally anything. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that tutorial, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos if you want to stay tuned with all those tutorials. And in the next tutorial, I think I'm going to be making a sprite that can actually be animated so that you get fluent animation while you're walking. So make sure you hit that bell for notifications so that you get notified for every single video that I upload, as well as live streams, as long as you just hit the all notifications in the bell. You don't have to, you really don't have to, but if you want to, I can't put myself out of this one, can I? Well, anyway, just comment down below, hit the bell if you want to, I'm not gonna force you to. I'll see you guys later in the next video, so bye-bye!